Hi, this is Shep Hyken, customer service and experience expert, and today I'm going to discuss the importance of representing yourself and your company well. If you've seen me speak or seen any of my other YouTube videos, you may be familiar with my favorite story about the customer service experience that I had with a taxi cab driver. Well, this is the opposite of that experience, although it still provided some valuable lessons. Many times I use a transportation company to take me from my home to the airport. I typically call the night before my flight to arrange an early morning ride to that airport. One evening, I reserved my car at 4:15 a.m. to get me to the airport by 4:30 to catch my 5:30 flight. Well, at 4:15 in the morning, I was outside of our building waiting for the driver. My first indication that something was wrong was that the drivers usually arrive at least 5 or 10 minutes early. So I called the company and the dispatcher told me that my driver was 2 or 3 minutes away. Well, 5 minutes later, I called back and I could hear the dispatcher on the radio with the driver who said she was turning on my street at that very moment. Well, I was standing outside and I could see that no one was turning on my street. I told the dispatcher. Another few minutes went by and I called the dispatcher back to say that I was going to the local taxi stand, which was just a short walk up the block. If the driver showed up before I got into the cab, I would go with him or her. Otherwise, too bad. Well, as my luck would have it, just as I was almost to the taxi stand, the driver showed up. I was not happy and said the obvious. I've got a flight to catch. We need to move. And she replied, I'm only 10 minutes late. It's not like you're going to miss your flight. And I replied, how do you even know what time my flight is? Well, frustrated, I got into the car. She didn't say she was sorry. She only complained about how bad her day had started, and it was only 4:15 in the morning. I told her nicely that I understood she was having a bad day, but my interest was in getting to the airport as quickly as possible. She insisted on telling me how this was an in-between job and how much she hated the company. I was shocked, and I didn't say a word at that point. She kept talking and was working herself up into being emotionally upset. She eventually became so upset that she picked up the radio to connect with the dispatcher and announced that as soon as she dropped me off, she was bringing the car back and she was quitting. The driver was a little crazy. That's not a medical diagnosis, it's just my observation. I feared for my life as I thought she might intentionally cause an accident or drive the car into a wall. Well, the good news is we eventually made it to the airport, and all I could think about was how bad this experience was and what we could all learn from it. So here's some lessons. Number one, show up on time. Anything else is disrespectful, destroys confidence, and can ultimately cost you business. Number two, the customer is not your therapist. It doesn't matter how bad your day is. Don't burden him or her with your problems. Your job is to take care of the customer regardless of how you feel. Number three, don't air your dirty laundry in public. You may not like the company you work for, but you should still be respectful. They're paying you to do a job, so do it well and represent the company to the best of your abilities. And number four, when you're in front of your customer, you are your company. You represent the company, their brand, and all of their employees. You have the power to give the customer a great experience or not. Anything you do, positive or negative, reflects on the company. So seize it as an opportunity to amaze your customers. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short lesson. Please be sure to visit my website, which is www.hyken.com. There you'll find more information about my speaking programs, as well as over 350 customer service articles that you can read and share with your colleagues. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Shep Hyken reminding you to always be amazing.